Hello, YouTube. Welcome everyone to what we're on day 10 of Inktoberfest. So it's crazy to think we've made it to day 10, but welcome everyone. So today we're going to be covering elemental paste. So yesterday we covered the whipped alchemy moves, and today we cover elemental because it's a little bit different. And you can do some different things with it, and it's kind of a fun one to play around with as well. So that's what we're going to be covering this evening. So I have some rubber stamps. I'm going to use this textured background that we had once upon a time. And then I've got my elemental paste and some of my mix-ins so I can share with you some different things you can do with elemental. So let's dive straight in. I'm going to go across to my phone over here. All right, so
You like your fingernails, probably.
hey Jan. So here we have a couple of different tags, and I have my tags from before. So this is what elemental paste looks like when it's dry. So it's a white, thicker, very opaque paste that you can put onto any surface. And it also works on like canvases and mixed media, like 3D home decor projects. So that's always a nice place you can use it as well. But it's much heavier than using the whipped, but you can do different things with it. So remember, the whipped is quite translucent. You can even layer it up. So if you want to, you can grab out some elemental moves, elemental paste even. Hello, everyone joining us on YouTube as well. So I have a stencil here. I'm going to take this, and I've got one of our little disposable cups over here. Hey, Lola. I'm going to take a little bit of my elemental. And then, okay, so there's a couple of different things. You can add your dye inks or you can add your alcohol inks. But I'm going to be adding some mixatives to this later. So I'm going to go in with my alcohol, and you'll see the reason why when I start adding my mix-ins. Same deal. If you make it too moist, you can add Dimension Builder. And if you make it too dry, you can add Alchemy Refresher to bring it back nice and vibrant. And you're going to notice this is going to have more of a chalky appearance to it when you add your color, if you add alcohol. So it kind of turns your alcohol inks into something chalky, whereas it's going to be more vibrant if you stick with your dye-based inks. But I did pick the alcohol ink for a reason, and I'll share that with you in just a minute. So I'm going to put like a little bit on the corner here, just to kind of add some texture. We're going to kind of just keep working on these tags and like adding things to them. And then I'm going to add a little bit down here as well. You can kind of add, some extra flourishes and things as well. So I'm going to put this one to the side to dry for tomorrow. And then on this one, I'm going to put just a stripe across the bottom here. And let that dry, because I didn't like how I just had that kind of weird stripe on the bottom. I wanted to make sure I added some texture and things to it. So you can do that. I don't have my dirty box in here. I'm going to put this on there and hope for the best. All right, so what we can then do is I'm going to put a little bit more of my elemental paste in here. And then we have these mix-ins. So we have a fine snow and a chunky snow. This is the fine, this is the, no, this is the fine, this is the chunky. Mine don't have stickers on, of course, yours come with stickers. So I'm going to add some of this in here. I'm gonna add a little bit more ink. And the reason I chose alcohol ink is because this will cover the mix-in, or color the mix-in rather. So rather than, having like a white grittiness to it, the alcohol will color the snow additive. So we have fine snow and then we have snowdrift, which is the chunky. So you can see that even though I've now added all of that grit to it, and you can kind of see that texture to it, it's colored all of it. So if I put a dye re-inker in, I would get more of a speckled effect because the dye is not capable of drying the the additive. So I'm going to just put this down. And you can kind of hear like it's gritty as I'm putting it down, but it gives you these really cool textures. And you can see like how much dimension I can build into this. So I can build this up to be really high layers, or I can, go through and put things into it. You can kind of just play around with it. If you've seen like the TikToks with the palette knives, this is a really good paste because it's got lots of body to it and it's going to dry. I'm going to let this one dry like this. Like you see how thick that is? It's going to dry with all of that texture in it. And this has the grit in it. So it's going to have that like grittiness to it as well. So it's really good if you're doing stone or bricks or any of those kinds of things. Like it's a really, really fun one to play around with. But you can take it even further. I need drying room for all of my tags. I'm going to move to a different cup. That's why I chose disposable tonight, because I want to share with you something else. So let me grab out another cup here. I'm going to put some more paste in here. And this time I will add, we'll do some dye in here. And you'll see the difference. So this is Blue Moon. So again, it does go lighter, but it's not as chalky. There's something about the alcohol reaction in it that makes it super, it still has some gloss to it. So you can just play around with whatever you want. I'm just going to spread. I'm a lefty, so I kind of do things back to front. Some down my page, and then I'm going to take my rubber stamp. Put it here it is. It's already on plastic, so I'm just going to go with it as it is. And I'm going to press it in. And I usually let it dry a little bit, like a couple of minutes. But you see how I can start to add this texture. And then you can also take this and stamp it out. So you can actually get both impressions with it. So you can kind of start a tag this way. So if you don't like how your impression came out, we'll just smooth it back out. A little bit like icing. I'm actually going to spritz this with a little bit of Alchemy Refresher, just off to the side because I don't want it all over everything. And we're going to press in, like I've got a crackle texture there, so you could, put that into, but you see how I can kind of just add some of those swirls and things to it. So I can just like pick out, and you can create backgrounds with all of your sounds. I suggest always using, I don't know, I see on my laptop, it's not come out. You see if I lift it up, you can see the textures I've got in there. So the refresher you normally would add to pastes that have gone too dry. So if you add a lot of mix-ins or you add a lot of things to your stamps, then the refresher, so you see how I can get all of those scores and those swirls in the background. You can also use plastic texture plates. You can use all kinds of things. You can also take your elemental mousse into your silicone mold. So if you have a mold like, yeah, move this to the side. I don't have that much in here. You grab some more paste out. Let's just clean this. I'm just spritzing it off to the side so it doesn't get all over my worktop. I'm going to clean up the craft room tomorrow ahead of our Inky class. And hopefully you're all going to be joining us for our Inky class on Sunday. We've got some fun things to share with you. So like this is where I use that like little scrubby that new stencil cleaning brush because, the elemental paste kind of gets in there and that gets all of that dirt and everything out. So I just give that a quick wipe in there. But if I take some, where did my elemental go? Clean this off. And you could paint in here first with some dye-based inks if you wanted to add color, or you can just go with it however you want. But I'm going to pick a butterfly. Yeah. Remind me, I'll show you these tomorrow. Hopefully I don't break it as I take it out. I want to just... But you can basically make your own embellishments. So I've just put some on there. You can do the same with the whipped too. It's just going to be a little bit more brittle. But if you want something that's super lightweight to go on your card making projects, you absolutely can use some whipped. I promise, I don't know where I put my whipped, otherwise I'd make them quickly. I'm sure it's on the table somewhere here. But you can put those in, let this dry overnight, and then you can make your own embellishments and things in here. I'm just going to put that to the side for a second to dry. Ah, got my whipped. Here we go. We'll add some whipped in, and we'll show you the difference tomorrow between them. Just clean off my... I'm just going to pick... Pretty sure they're using outside of the racetrack here by the sounds of it. So, once you've got paste all over your fingers and your nails, we're going to put those to the side. And then this is what it looks like, as I say, once it's dried. So you can still go in and, use your sprays and things. I'm not sure what color we've even got in here, but well, looks like rah-rah skirt. Or it could be coral keys mixed with some snow flurries. So you see, you can still spritz on top as well and add more texture to it. This will take a little bit longer to dry than it does on your whipped mousse. But into these, the elemental, you can, as I say, you can mix your additives, you can mix glitter, you can mix on your glass glitter that's coming in your mixed media kits, you can mix anything that's a little bit heavier. So if you have something that you feel is a little bit heavier, you can mix glitter in with this, you can mix starlight elixir, you can mix in, I'm trying to see what else I've got in my craft room that I might want to mix in with it, clay slices, you can mix, really anything in with it as well. How long does it take to dry? I would say overnight would be um a good thing. So I'm going to leave those overnight and hopefully they'll be done by tomorrow. I don't know exactly, but yeah, I would give it a good, maybe like 3 to 4 hours would be my guess. So any other questions on elemental paste? We're actually going to do a really cool technique on Sunday where I'm going to show you how you can make 3D flowers with our pastes and like paint these really pretty like mini canvases, or you can do it on cards, and that's going to be really fun. So we'll be covering that on Sunday as well. Lola likes playing with the paste. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? I love the fact of doing like all the mix-ins and stuff like that. So years ago, one of my jobs was I used to make ice cream cakes for Cold Stone Creamery, and we had mix-ins for the ice cream. So now we have mix-ins for our pastes instead. But yes, so that is tonight's tag. So we covered using it with stamps, putting it down with a stencil and spraying it, coloring it up front, adding the grit to it. So you've got like lots and lots of texture you can see on this tag here. Like you see how thick that is, and that will dry like that. So depending on how thick you want it to be. So that's what elemental paste does. So it's your heavier, heavy duty version. It's going to hold a lot more. You can still mix everything with it. If you mix your colors in with it, it's going to give you more of a chalky effect. Whereas if you mix it in with the whipped, you get that kind of more vibrant effect as well. And then tomorrow we're going to cover liquid glass and alchemy glaze. So how to use clear things but also make something really pretty with it. So we're going to do different additives. I'm going to show you about making sepia effects and turning things vintage, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to cover tomorrow. Um, oh, we need a winner for tonight. Let's do that. I actually opened up a tab ready. It never picks a number like right in the middle. Well, that was easy. It picked number one, which is Alicia. So congratulations, Alicia. I'm going to put you on our winners list. 10, 10. Oh my goodness, we're a third of the way through already. That's crazy. Using the alcohol ink to stain the grit. Yes, that's a fun one. What else? What else did people learn tonight that you're going to use in your crafting, maybe over the weekend or, in your new projects and things like that? What's your favorite thing? Actually, you can pick from anything we've done this week. I'd love to know what your favorite of the week is because it's Friday, so it's a good time. Renee likes that we can use it in molds. Yeah, I love molds. I'm a big mold girl, so um it's another fun one. I'm trying to get YouTube open, but I can't find where I have so many tabs. Hey, Linda. And Connie's there, Angie's there, LaDonna's there, Jan, Mama T. Olivia says, wouldn't thought to use it in molds. It's cool. Yeah, so you can use it in molds. You can use it with texture plates. You can press your embossing folders into it as well to add texture. I would just spritz them first with Alchemy Refresher because it's just going to give it that little bit of slip to be able to press it in. And usually I'll let my paste dry like for a couple of minutes so it's not too wet. So almost like as it's just about to get that skin on top, then I would press in my stamp, my embossing folder or something like that. And then you won't get that peak that I got. You'll get a nice deep impression. So then just smush it over and things like that as well. So yeah, you can do a ton of different things with it. So all right, that's everything for our Friday night. I can't wait to share with you some fun things on Sunday. So if you're not signed up for our Inky Retreat, you can go over to the store and sign up for that. And otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be covering alchemy glaze and liquid glass and fun things you can do with that in terms of your inks and everything. So I will see you then. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday night, and I hope you get some craft time in. I'll see you then.